Please read the disclaimer. XRP holders, Coinbase CEO just gave a massive warning. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We're going to talk about XRP, about the crypto market. There's a lot to get into to dissect today. What's happening with oil, what's happening with Iran, what's happening with Ripple and Swift, what's happening with the president, who did he fire? And that's always interesting. Before we get into it, right, I gave you homework 2 days ago to research what is going on with Algorand. Did you do your research? It's up already 41% on the week. You could have taken that opportunity. It's up 16%, another 16.4% since we talked. If you would have opened a leverage position, that could have been a very nice position. If you're interested in leverage trading, by the way, our partner BTCC will give the opportunity to do so, and you can get a 30% deposit bonus once you sign up using my link. That gives you the possibility to go long, to go short, and you get that amazing 30% deposit bonus. It is an affiliate link. So I will get a commission. It's a way to support the channel. A link is in the description down below. Please trade responsibly. So did you do your research? Did you know what's going on with Algorand? So basically, a few days ago, it came out a report that Google's quantum AI is, Google's quantum computing is potentially a lot closer than expected, at a point where it could break the security on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it did note that Algorand was on par for post-quantum security features, and that's why everybody is now interested in Algorand, because potentially it could be the last one standing. So that's why we're seeing money flow in. There's always narrative. There's always things that we can look at. So that's always important to remember. Now, currently, XRP is sitting at $1.31. That's why it's important, by the way, to watch all the videos, because you could have, gotten that trade there on Algorand. But if you only watch, once in a while, sometimes you're going to miss out. So it's important to subscribe to the channel, have the notifications on, of course, so you don't miss out. Currently, XRP, like I said, is sitting at $1.31. Bitcoin is sitting at 66,863. Ethereum is at 2,064. Solana under a smidge under 80 at 79.57. The crypto market pulled back a little bit yesterday after we had that speech from President Trump that wasn't what people wanted, right? People wanted him to come out with, trumpets and fireworks and say, we got the job done already. But no, that's not what he said. He said there's going to be a couple of weeks potentially here, and basically reset a lot of the stuff that he has been saying over the past few weeks. The market didn't like this. We saw a sell-off. Crypto sold off. Stocks sold off, but then recovered. I actually got a really nice trade there. I kind of caught the bottom of that movement, and we saw the stock market recover. Today is Easter, Good Friday, right? So it's Easter now, and there's no trading on the stock market today, but crypto continues to trade. So I don't know if we can call it Freaky Friday, because we remove the element of the stock market and the manipulation that happens there with the ETFs out of the equation today. I don't know how many, is there a vacation in the US today? Like, do people work or not? Interesting. Also, maybe around the world, because it's Good Friday, people are less trading. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe the Asian markets will fuel some things, but we'll see. Maybe today is going to be no action. Maybe we'll see a lot of action. It's very hard to know day to day what's going to happen. Maybe Trump will come out with a statement. So as always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers. Those are imposters. Please be very careful out there, okay? Do you guys know when you have holidays, I get bad heartburn? I've just been eating a lot of food. When you get close to 40, it starts to happen. But I do have Tums, so don't worry about me. If we go back to what's happening, it will be very interesting to see price action, what happens here with XRP and the rest of the top 10, because there are some movers. like I said, Algorand is moving today. I saw Pepe moving a little bit, Fartcoin moving a little bit, up 4%. So we are seeing some meme coins, 3.5%, 3% that are moving a little bit. We'll see potentially what happens here again today. Um, Oil continues to be high at over 100 here, 111. Everybody, as soon as it goes up over 100, everybody suddenly gets interested again. And so we'll see potentially what happens here with the markets. If we go here, you can see they're talking about jobs, but nothing too crazy. Okay, so let's go to what President Trump just did. I wanted to use, by the way, there was the moon mission to the moon. I wanted to use, we're going to the moon, but I forgot to use it last night. They're already there, I think, right? It already launched. President Trump releases a statement after firing the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. So basically, firing the Attorney General and potentially getting a new one here. So President Trump is not afraid to mix things up. I heard that potentially we could also be seeing a new head of the army, the military there. I don't know what's going on with the Secretary of War, right? It's called, not the Secretary of Defense anymore. So things are moving, things are shaking. We saw in Trump's previous administration that he's not afraid to mix things up, to change people. Usually when you have someone in a position, a government, they stay there for the full term, usually, unless there's something really bad that's happening. But Trump, if he doesn't, like your performance, you're out, right? He had that show where he kept firing people, right? So it's same things happening. I don't remember if I talked about this last night. I don't think I did. Coinbase announced a conditional U.S. trust charter approval. Coinbase says it has won the conditional approval from the OCC, paving the way to operate as a federally regulated trust bank. So Coinbase continues to develop. Coinbase continues to get the regulation. And we do have that 48-hour, that's now 24-hour clock there that the CLO gave us potentially on the support of the Clarity Act. So again, that's going to be something that we're watching. And if we do get an announcement on that, and of course, the price of XRP could move accordingly. Remember, XRP is down basically 40+% since Coinbase pulled out of the Clarity Act. It's not just because of that XRP is down, but that was the main trigger, because if you remember, XRP was doing so amazing the first 2 weeks of the year. Even CNBC featured it as the hot, crypto, and then it started declining. Since that article, basically, that was the day after was the peak. It's similar to when Elon Musk went on SNL, and then Dogecoin started plummeting since then. So I think CNBC talking about XRP like that was the maybe in the future when that happens again, hopefully, right? Knock on wood. XRP going up. Not when we see that, maybe we'll open a short because history has told us that it's usually the top of the rally. Brian Armstrong also gives us a warning here. As we've talked about this, he tells us every AI agent deserves a crypto wallet. In fact, there will be more AI agents transacting online than humans very soon. X402 is the internet payments layer, which has been missing for the last 30 years and will enable this. The new X402 Foundation will exist under the Linux Foundation with Coinbase, Cloudflare, and Stripe as key contributors. Once all agents start transacting natively on the internet at scale, entirely new product and business opportunities will open up. So this is coming, right? This is coming around the mountain when she comes. Very soon, it's going to be very, very hard to do things intraday, because the AI agents, there's going to be billions of them that are transacting, and you won't be able, if you get lucky, right, you can run up with them or run down with them. It's going to be very hard to catch intraday movements. It's going to be super fast. And this is going to be the new normal. And then the question is going to be, who has the best AI agents? Who writes the best code? Who has the best ideas? The crypto market trading is short-term trading, especially, I think, is going into a new phase. And we're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to change. And that's up to us. That's on us. He gives us a warning here. He tells us, hey, you're going to have to change the way you approach things if you're short-term investing. If you're long-term investing, it's a totally different story. The AI agents still trade, right? But long-term, we'll see. We'll see how it is going to affect. Will the AI agents just sell? No. Will they just buy? No. There's going to be transacting. There's going to be movement, um, but it's going to be different. And so our job right now is to start researching how we can use the AI agents to potentially bring us profit, right? That's our job. We need to develop. Same way it used to be. You had to buy an actual certificate of a stock, and then you had to call in, and then you could do it online, and then there were programs, and now you can do it from your phone, right? Things have changed, things have developed, and same thing is going to happen with the AI agent. So we just need to move to the next phase and learn it and maximize our potential from it. It's a warning to get our stuff together, right? Tariff wars are back again. The US is about to tax every finished product containing steel or aluminum or aluminum, depending where you live around the world, on its full price, not just the metal inside it. The US imported over 49 billion worth of steel and aluminum in 2024. A 25% tariff applied to the full value of these imports would generate over 12 billion in potential tariff revenue annually for the US government. On the flip side, I actually read that they're starting to return some of the tariffs. So again, this whole thing with the tariffs and the Supreme Court and the returning and not returning, we'll see how this plays out as well. This could affect inflation, and this could, so all these things, all these factors are pushing the markets in certain ways. Again, short term, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen. But I like big butts and I cannot lie. We have been looking at the PMI, and we've talked about this, how a few things needed to happen in previous cycles. PMI expanding over 50, trend up, basically telling us that the 4-year cycle was not really a 4-year cycle, it was a business cycle. This is something that Raoul Paul has mentioned multiple times. PMI over 50, expansion, PMI under 50, contraction. The current situation is that we have had 3 straight months over 50. Last time this happened was mid 2020, and then it took a few months. Then we saw Bitcoin go from 9,000 to 69,000. Alts followed and then went vertical. But, right, and people will talk about this, and Raoul Pal will talk about this. The difference between now and 2020 is a few things. One, 2020 had an injection of liquidity, mainly coming from the Fed, the stimulus checks, people were at home, people were trading. But you could also say, well, 2017 didn't have that, Avi, and 2017 was much better than 2020. And yes, you're right. Another thing that 2017 and 2020 had in common, though, was low interest rates, which we do not have now, meaning that the money was cheap. People could take out money, loans, and invest. Not just people, not just retail, institutions, big money, borrowing money from banks, investing in the markets, right? That is not the situation right now. Money isn't very cheap. It's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. And so when you have this situation, that could be one of the factors why the market is very slow right now. Could interest rates start coming down in the next 6 months with the new Fed chairman? Yes. And could we potentially have a catch up? And could it be very, very aggressive? Yes. Okay. So again, that's why short term, we're still in this kind of situation where a lot of factors are telling us the market should recover, but they aren't. We never hit many of the bull market indicators or peak bull market indicators. None of them flashed, and yet the market pulled back. And so this is a new day, right? And so we'll see potentially how this plays out. History sometimes repeats itself, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we get a new history. So it's very important. Now, this is interesting. US corporate insiders are aggressively dumping stocks. Okay. So what does this mean? Does this mean that the markets are going to continue to pull back over the next coming weeks? Are we going to see the stock market pull back more? We already saw it pull back, a significant amount. Is it going to pull back more? That is the question. It did recover a little bit, but we could see a continuation to the downside, right? We saw a little bit of a hype. And again, when the stock market is coming down, a lot of big money. Maybe they were long, and maybe they're getting some margin calls. Maybe they need to sell assets. Maybe they have crypto assets. They look at, oh well, that's, we got it, but now it's not doing so great, and it's high risk, so let's remove it, right? So that could be detrimental for the crypto market. All these things, all these factors, these are things that build up, and again, we have to take into consideration. We don't know how eventually things are going to play out. Okay, so important. There's a lot of talk on the Twitterverse right now about Swift and Swift's new blockchain, and the companies that are partnering with Swift, or the banks that are partnering with Swift. And Ripple Treasury joined Swift Certified Partner Program. There's been a lot of talk about, oh, Ripple will replace Swift. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. But what could potentially happen here is Ripple will enter in the middle. Ripple will enter with Swift. It will be a partnership. I told you, by the way, a few days ago that Swift has gotten a lot better than it used to be. A few years ago, it would take maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. I did a transaction and it took 2-3 days, which is, significantly less than what had previous been. So they're getting better, and Ripple could help them facilitate the intra-bank connectivity, could help them along the way. And of course, we talked about yesterday, Ripple maybe pulling to other things, pulling potentially to corporate transactions. And so this is going to be very interesting to see how the integration with Ripple and Swift continues as we move forward. And now let's talk a little bit about the situation between Iran, US, Israel, right? It doesn't look like it's coming to a end here. Um, Yesterday, a ballistic missile fell very, very close to my house, but I wasn't there. So, but the people that live in my building said it was like a huge explosion. It is what it is. Let's hope that this winds down soon in the next coming weeks. But we are getting, some kind of mixed signals. U.S. intelligence reports Iran military capability is far from destroyed. Key findings: 50% of the missile launcher still intact. Thousands of drone remains operational. Coastal cruise missiles mostly untouched. Underground storage makes targeting near impossible. The threat across the Gulf remains very real. This could be multiple weeks here, and other countries aren't really jumping to help open up the strait. And countries led by the UAE are pushing hard for UN approval to reopen the strait, but countries are vetoing this. They don't want to, put themselves in that. And so again, right now, oil is still high. But again, we've seen it high. We've seen the fear, and then we saw it. A tweet from Trump, a word from Trump, and we saw oil go from 120 to 70. It could happen again. So if you're playing with oil, just be careful because it's very, very volatile. A lot of people, a lot of traders are trading now oil if it's through, crypto markets, hyperliquid and things like that, or, buying USO, buying options. So just be careful if you are trading oil because, again, Trump saying ceasefire, Trump saying something could significantly drop the price there. So just be careful on what you're doing in the near future because things can change very, very fast. As always, don't forget to smash the like button. Check out the links in the description down below if you're interested in BTCC and trading the crypto market. Now's your opportunity. We've been a partner with them for a long time. So again, link is in the description down below. Get that bonus. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.